Right before we jump into this video, if you haven't signed up for the Fresnel Photo email list, go over to the website, look for this orange box, put your name, email address in it, hit send it, and I will send you a free guide to capturing motion in low light situations. Jared Polin, FresnelPhoto.com, and this is a real world review of the Nikon 300mm F4E VR lens. Now this is a small lens. It's so small that it almost feels like it's a 24-70, but only a little lighter. To have a 300mm F4 VR in your bag that does what it does is really amazing. Put it in comparison to a 300 f2.8 and how large that is at 5 or 6 pounds, and then you grab something like this, which is a hell of a lot smaller. It's gonna come in handy whether you're a photojournalist, whether you shoot sports, whether you shoot nature, even if you wanna handhold some video. So I wanna run it through its paces and tell you what I think. So I want to take this lens inside to shoot the Liberty Bell. Now I have to keep in mind, it's a 300mm on a full frame body. What kind of shots can I get? I think I'm going to have to focus on the details, but we'll just have to go and see. All right, so I was absolutely right. The detail shots was what I had to shoot. There's really not much else you can do with a 300mm in there. You have a lot of people hanging around. I can shoot portraits of the people, but what's the point of shooting a really tight headshot at the Liberty Bell if you don't have the Liberty Bell in it? But I got some awesome detail shots of the bottom of the bell, the thing that cracked the bell in the first place. Got pictures of the crack, got details of the text that's in there, even tried to get down on low angles to try to, get people on the other side of the bell to see if I could get some interesting shots. So again, with a lens like this, you're gonna be shooting a lot of detailed shots, so you just have to find them. For example, we went over to the sunflower patch, and I saw some bees flying around, and I tried to capture them. I don't know how I did, I hope I did well, but you just have to find shots like that. To be or not to be? That be the question. So the next thing I want to do is take a walk over to Independence Hall and see what kind of pictures I can pick up. I'm thinking the detail shots are going to be great. We have the clock up there, we have the bell, we have the spire at the very top, but we also have people hanging out, so that may give me the ability to get some cool pictures. So one thing you need to remember when you're using a longer piece of glass like this is a 300mm. Now the rule of thumb, if you're on full frame, is that you don't want your shutter speed to be slower than your focal length. That's where you start to run into some issues with some blur that's happening because of your motion. Now the VR is going to come in handy and help you there, so if you have the VR on, you can shoot at slower shutter speeds, but it's a good rule of thumb to be at no less than 1/320th of a second if you're shooting on full frame, and if you're on DX, maybe 1/500th of a second, because remember, this lens on a DX body is going to be 450 millimeters. Guy with a selfie stick is always lovely. Oh, guy shooting with an iPad. Wow, this is unbelievable. So if you're shooting on a DX camera and you put this 300 F4 on there, it's gonna be 450 millimeters. The shots that I am getting of people at a distance and filling the frame with is just insane. To have a lens this small but get that much reach is unbelievable. So if you can afford it, this is a lens that I would throw in the bag at all times, just to have the reach when you need it, whether you're full frame getting that 300 millimeters or whether you're DX getting that 450 millimeter equivalent. This is unbelievable what I'm getting right here. Wow, that kid's taking my picture, taking this picture. Wow, so there you have it. There I switched into full frame so you can see both of them at the same time. One's at 450 millimeters equivalent on DX, and one is full frame at 300 millimeters. Amazing. What an amazing lens that we have right here. The sheer ability to snipe what we want to snipe from a distance is unbelievable. Really enjoying it. Now let's move on to something else. So the VR in this lens is absolutely incredible. It's great for stills, and it even comes in handy for video. To hand hold a video at 300 millimeters and still have it be stable is unbelievable. All right, guys, so what I'm doing right now is I'm shooting this clock up here at Independence Hall. Now, I'm shooting it at 300 millimeters. VR is on, VR is off. Look at that. See how that's moving? On, boom. Stabilizing, off. One more time, on, off, and on. But this D4S lets me do a 2.7 time crop mode. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put it into 2.7 time crop mode, because that is gonna give us the equivalent of an 810 millimeter lens. I'm hand holding this, so let's see how it does. Pretty stable. 810 millimeters right here, equivalent. Now let's just take VR off to see how good this VR is. VR is off. Look at Shaky McShakerson going on right here. We'll put VR back on. Boom. Unbelievable. That is 810 millimeters because this camera lets me do 2.7 times crop mode. Unbelievable VR, unbelievable capabilities that you have with these two combinations. Really, really loving what this lens lets me do for stills and for video. So as we wrap this real world review up, I want to remind you that this is just one particular situation where you could use this lens, but there's so many others, whether you're shooting weddings, sports, nature, portraits. This lens is going to be fantastic. I can see taking this with me, throwing it in the bag, because it's much quicker and easier to use than my 300 2.8. That's $5,000. This is still expensive at $2,000, but it may come in handy because it gives you amazing reach, great VR, and it's just an all-around fantastic lens. So that's it. That's another real world review. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya. So if you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and if you follow us on Facebook, go ahead and give this a share so other people can check it out.